What is going on YouTube? This is Jim, back with another video for you guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at these brand new spanking licensed Pro controllers for the PS4. Now this comes courtesy to us from the European PlayStation blog. I don't yet know why they have not been posted here in the States, but that's okay. We can still talk about them. I know they're on their way. There are two controllers that PlayStation is unveiling right now, both from major third-party game peripheral development companies. That's not a mouthful, is it? The Razer Raiju and the Nikon Revolution. So let's take a look at these things. I have to admit, just from a cosmetic standpoint, they're kind of weird looking, and they seem to borrow extensively on Xbox One controllers, which is very odd to me. This piece in particular here looks almost identical to the original Xbox One controller headset peripheral. It's very odd how surreal that looks. Obviously the split stick is very similar to an Xbox as well, and even the shape kind of reminds me slightly of an Xbox as well. Now, both of these controllers have some different features, which we're going to get into in a minute, but let's go ahead and look at some more pictures first. Notice this one has the sticks on the back, so you have some finger switches, very similar to what the Xbox One Elite controller is doing, and I'm not entirely sure, based on this picture, if this is going to toggle for both of the bumpers or just for one. Maybe that'll be clear as we read through the description together. I'm just reading this for the first time with you guys. This one also has, it looks like M1, M2, M3, M4, which would indicate to me that this is for both. I don't like the fact that it's not a dedicated bumper, that it's on one and you have one side or the other. I think that's kind of a sloppy design. So let's go ahead and go back and look at some of the technical specifications that have been provided to us. And let's dive into this. First is the Razer Raiju. Now, Razer is no stranger to peripherals for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I used to be a big Razer guy when it came to PC products, and I really love their Chroma and their Death Adder product line. They did dabble into Xbox One consoles for a while, particularly with an Xbox 360 controller, which was extremely poorly received. That's what worries me. Razer, at least in my experience with them, have not been durable products. And although I was a Razer guy for some time, I talk about it in past tense because I've since moved on to Corsair and SteelSeries. And I like those gaming products a lot better. This one says it has 2 extra bumpers and 2 extra detachable triggers. Built-in control panel on the front of the controller. Trigger stop switches and hair trigger mode for ultra-fast trigger responses. Custom profiles which you can instantly switch to and modify. 3.5mm headset jack with dedicated volume right on the bottom of the controller there. Detachable analog stick rubber caps which provide extra grip. And it's compatible with all PS4 via a 3-foot long cable which is detachable. It'll launch up this holiday season. Interesting product suite. Let's go ahead and read the other one, and then I'm going to give you guys kind of an overview of where I stand on these. The Nikon Revolution, also developed with the eSport player in mind, has a 46-degree amplitude dual analog stick enhanced with innovative firmware for advanced esports accuracy and reach, 4 extra shortcut buttons, 8-way D-pad, custom profiles, 2 internal compartments with 6 additional weights for a tailored balance and feel, and it also comes with a 3-meter long cable with that is detachable. So both of these are trying to emulate what the Xbox One Elite controller has so successfully done for me and swayed me away from my beloved PlayStation, and I've really gravitated toward the Xbox One when it comes to competitive shooters. And I'm a huge fan of the detachable sticks, especially for racing games. The longer the stick, the longer the pull on the controller. It gives you a much more precision feel when you're driving a car for those finesse turns or for that finesse gas or that finesse braking. I don't know why PlayStation did not keep this in-house. Both of these controllers have a very cheap look to them. And they really do remind me of those crappy clear plastic, multicolored plastic controllers you had when you were a kid. We referred to those as the guest controllers. You probably remember this. For me, it was really around the time of the N64, And the N64 came out, and I realized just how bad these controllers were. And you'd get one from your grandma or your aunt because you needed an extra controller, and it was like, the gimmick was that it was a hot pink color or blue, or it was transparent, whatever, and you'd give it to your buddy. These have that look to me. They just don't look very good. They're a very odd shape. It's not that distinctive PlayStation design. I do appreciate some of the attempts that they're trying to make with putting triggers on the back. Right now, the only viable product that we have as PlayStation 4 owners is by using SCUF controllers. SCUF only does, and SCUF is a premium product. It's a very, very expensive product. So this may kind of alleviate some of that price. It may bring SCUF down because they'll see that people are paying just way too much for a stick. Although, that said, I did buy an Elite controller for a pretty significant amount of money, but I do really, really love it. I do like the idea with the different grips, and in particular with this Nikon Revolution design, I'm very intrigued by the additional weights. I'm curious exactly how that's going to fit into the feel of the controller. Does that mean with all the weights out, it's going to feel very, very chintzy and very lightweight? We'll have to wait to be seen. I'm also curious if these sticks remove the rumble motors. A lot of times, professional players do not want the rumble motors. They find it distracting. So we may not have a rumble feature in these. It's hard to say. Now, there is some nice attention to detail, particularly on the Revolution with the touchpad. If I magnify this image here, you can see it does have the sacred symbols right on the D-pad, or the touchpad, which is a really, really nice feature. But notice, assuming this is the real photo, I can't tell if this is like a CAD drawing or if this is the real thing. The PlayStation buttons, in terms of the sacred symbols, the actual buttons themselves, they're not equally spaced. The sizes of the buttons are different. They're different places in terms of how close they are. I mean, here they're almost touching. Over here they're significantly farther away. And I'm not entirely sure, but it looks to me as if these thumbsticks may be a little bit bigger in contour than this, or in diameter rather than this thumbstick. When they talk about detachable, I assume they mean contour. That's where I wanted to use that word. In terms of convex or concave, are there going to be other sizes? Are there going to be other, like the add-ons? Like if you guys saw my Gears of War video where we unboxed the Gears of War controller kit, which came with different grips altogether, different triggers altogether. I don't know if it lends itself well to that. Now, as a PlayStation owner, I do appreciate that they are trying to make analog sticks that are offset, because this configuration with two of them on the bottom just doesn't feel as natural as it does, I'll say, in this configuration. Very similar, obviously, to the Xbox One controller. You'll notice here that the cable, it looks like it actually screws into place. This one looks just like a standard USB plug. This design intrigues me a lot, and I'm curious if there's a reason behind that, or if that's just, whatever, if there's why they did that. The other thing that I want to point out is the actual contour of where the bumpers would be. Is slightly different from each stick and different from what the standard DualShock 4 controller has. And I think something that Sony perfected much more so than the Xbox One controller, even the Elite controller, is that their R1, R2 buttons feel significantly more responsive, and they are significantly easier to press because of the way they are spaced. This reminds me very similar with this very tiny front shoulder button on both of these. Reminds me of what the Xbox One controller does, and that's not something I'm a particular fan of. But overall, I have to say, I guess I applaud Sony in a sense for officially licensing two products. And if you don't like them, obviously you can stick with your DualShock 4. However, I'm very worried because this doesn't seem like it's the answer to the Xbox One Elite controller. This doesn't seem like this would draw me back. They just don't look pretty enough. Time will tell. Hopefully I can get my hands on these. It says they're releasing on holiday of this year. No idea when they're coming to the States, although I'm shocked they wouldn't be coming at the same time they're coming to Europe. Probably import them if you wanted to. But on looks alone, I think Sony really dropped the ball. So there you guys have it. Everything you need to know about the first look at the two officially licensed Pro controllers for the Sony PlayStation 4. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, or not. That's okay too. I'm closing in on 250 subs, and I'm very, very excited for that. And that's all. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. Did you like it? Do you not like it? Is this something you're interested in? And for the professional players, I know a few of you do write me and you do game just as much as I do, if not more so. Does this draw you back? I know I've swung a lot of you on the love for the Elite controller. Does this design bring you back to the PlayStation Nation, or does it just make you solidify that the Elite controller was worth your time and money? Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.